The documentary you're about to watch was filmed 25 years ago in 1977 in the city of Perth, Western Australia. It was written, filmed, produced by Guy Baskin, British producer who went down to Australia, collected his crew, and then flew around the world to make it. The copy you have is an archived copy because all of the masters of this show have been destroyed in various house cleanings at the channel over the last 25 years. However, because one copy survived, Channel 9 has given us very kindly the permission to reproduce this archive for you folks that have the Cosmic Conspiracy book. That's why you have this DVD in your possession. The documentary was originally filmed, the first hour of it, without me. And I was brought into this by a very peculiar circumstance which occurred there in Perth a few weeks before this went to air. I was cleaning the house and getting rid of stuff for spring cleaning, and there was a wooden clothes wardrobe. In Australia, they don't have closets as much as they have wooden clothes hangers, boxes, nice decorative pieces that go in a bedroom. And I had too many of them in this old house that I was renting, and they were kind of falling apart in places, so I wanted to take it to the garbage dump, or the rubbish tip as they call it in Australia. So I got in the car, the station wagon, shoved this long, tall clothes wardrobe in it, and drove out to the rubbish tip. When I got there, I waited in line like everyone else to drive up to throw my garbage, or that particular wardrobe, over the side of a huge cliff of garbage down into the valley below, where all the rest of the rubbish was being shoved that day. So my time came, and I got out of the station wagon, around the back, and opened up the back door, and put my hands on the wardrobe to start to pull it out, and the guy behind me honks his horn and gets out. Young fella comes over to him, and he says, look, mate, are you going to throw that wardrobe away? And I said, yeah. And he said, oh, look, I wonder if I could have it. I just live a few blocks from here, and you could just drive it over the house for me, and, I'd be pleased to have it. And I said, well, no problem. Well, with this, a crowd kind of started together around us, and it wasn't other people dumping trash. It was the garbage guys that had filed rights on this garbage tip. And the rights were to mine the garbage, to pick out and sift through what they wanted for valuables and then resell it or use it. So they came across and said, oh, look, mate, to the guy that was trying to get the wardrobe from me, you can't have this because it's now in the tip, in the rubbish dump, and it is ours. And so he turns to him and says, oh, no, it hasn't actually been taken out of the car yet. It's in his car, so he can take it over and give it to me at my house. Well, with this, these garbage men, or miners of the garbage, whatever you want to call them, big fellas, started to kind of bristle up and walk over, a bunch of them like they were going to have a little bit of fisticuffs for this. And one of the guys got a D9 dozer and started to move toward this guy's car behind me, and he was going to push his car over the edge. And he says, we're going to push the car over the edge, mate, if you don't back off and let us have this wardrobe. So with this, the guy that was asking me for the wardrobe reaches in his pocket, pulls out his wallet, and he's an off-duty policeman. He says, right, the first one of you makes a move, I'm going to arrest you. Well, that kind of put a quiet on the whole argument. The policeman got in his car, he told me, follow me, and so I followed the guy. By this time, there'd been a crowd of people throwing the rubbish away watching all this, and a couple of the guys behind the policeman's car said, oh, look, you mind if we come with you? So anyway, a little gaggle of us went over to the policeman's house and installed the wardrobe in his bedroom, and had a cup of tea and coffee there with him, and talked about, life, death, universe, and what I was doing in Australia, and various things like that. And then I went home. But a couple of days passed, and a man who's now a good friend of mine, but I didn't know at the time, came driving up to the front door of my house, and he knocked, and I let him in, and he said, oh, look, my name is Hugh Kitson. I'm a film editor for Channel 9. I said, oh, yeah, I remember you at the policeman's house the other day. He said, yeah. He said, I listened to a few things you were talking about, and I get the impression you know a bit about this UFO stuff. And I said, well, yeah, a bit. And he said, well, we're doing a documentary. We've been keeping it very quiet, but we'd like for you to come in and appear in it. So I said, all right, and went down to the station, and they did a test interview, and thought, right, okay, there's more to this, so we'll film it over at Hugh's house. So what you're going to see at the end of this documentary is the interview they did with me, which is probably 20 minutes or so, the last 20 minutes of the movie, which made the program so popular, apparently, that they got a 42% rating of the viewing audience. It was the highest rating they'd ever gotten on a documentary television program in the network up to that date. So I want you to bear that in mind. What you see here was what we were telling people at the time publicly 25 years ago. You see Steven Spielberg in there, and his opinion basically still hasn't changed on the UFO alien abduction thing. I think you'll find that very interesting. And we have a number of other interviews with folks that you won't ever get another chance to see because they're now dead, like Dr. Ellen Hynek and Betty Hill, who was abducted with her husband Barney. So sit back, enjoy the show, and look for DVD number 2, which we're in the process of making now. Bye-bye.
About to see has taken our investigation team 6 months to research and assemble, and has involved them in a trip around the world.